Hello, my name is Andy, and I am the Village Idiot, and I'm armed with a car and a GoPro, and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. Welcome back to the borough of Burnley. Now, behind me, I have a sailing club, and that is Rossendale Valley Sailing Club. And even though it's got Rossendale in its name, we are still in Burnley, but only just, and I'll show you why we're only just in a few moments' time. This is Burnley's smallest parish in terms of population and in terms of area. Welcome to Dunnockshaw. Here's my disclaimer for people who may be watching me for the first time. I say things as I would in my native accent and dialect. As a result, I may not pronounce things in the same way as the locals do. Remember, I'm a visitor. It's impossible to know everything. Leave me a comment, spin me a like, and bash that subscribe button. Let's get to today's parish video. Dunnockshaw, or less commonly Dunnockshaw and Clowbridge, is a civil parish in the borough of Burnley in Lancashire, situated between Burnley and Rawtenstall. According to the United Kingdom census in 2011, the parish had a population of 185, which by some distance makes this the smallest one Burnley has. It contains the hamlets of Clowbridge and Dunnockshaw, both located on the A682 road. It adjoins the fellow Burnley parishes of Hapton and Habergham Eaves, as well as the borough of Rossendale. In fact, I can show you exactly where the Burnley-Rossendale border is here, thanks to a garage, which has a rather apt name. So Boundary Garage behind me is called that for a reason. It sits not just on Dunnockshaw's parish boundary, but also on Burnley's borough boundary. If you look across the road, you'll be able to see a sign that says Rossendale. Here's the two signs from either direction showing Burnley is one way and Rossendale is the other along the A682. And now it's time to discuss Dunnockshaw's history. The name Dunnockshaw probably comes from the words dunnock, a small bird known locally as a hedge sparrow, and shaw, meaning a small woodland or thicket. Dunnockshaw was one of the booths in the Forest of Rossendale. By the 17th century, it was the property of the Towneleys, the same family mentioned in neighbouring Habergham Eaves. It was once a township in the ancient parish of Whalley. This became a civil parish in 1866, forming part of the Burnley Rural District from 1894. At that time, the Clowbridge area, previously part of Hapton, transferred to Dunnockshaw, but a detached area on Hamilton Hill, called Dunnockshaw Close, moved to Hapton in 1935. The A682 road is the very same that was mentioned there, built by the Burnley and Edenfield Turnpike Trust following a 1795 Act of Parliament to improve transport to Manchester. Coal mining was a thing here. Burnt Hills Colliery opened from the 1840s until closure in 1920. It was connected via a surface tramroad to Porters Gate Colliery. In 1880, the tramroad was extended to meet Hapton Valley Colliery, a route that reached the Leeds-Liverpool Canal at Gano in Burnley. There was a coal staithe next to Cotton Row in Dunnockshaw. Dunnockshaw is the smallest parish in Burnley in terms of size as well as population. It only covers 2.6 square kilometres, and that gives it a population density of 78.05. Ethnically, the makeup of the population is 98.2% white British, but according to the latest stats, everyone here was born in the United Kingdom. Again, there are very few children here. The average house in Dunnockshaw has a price tag of £107,000, but that's only based on one sale in the last 12 months. The latest valuations out here have been anything up to £200,000. Bus information for the village now, and there are two buses listed as stopping in Dunnockshaw. These are the X43 and the 743 from Burnley to Manchester and Waterfoot, respectively. There's no post office or any local village shops, but there is a standalone postbox. The nearest shop is a short drive away, either through Habergham Eaves to the north or into Loveclough to the south. Dunnockshaw does have access to a defibrillator though, and you'll find that at a building between Dunnockshaw and Clowbridge. It's a special independent school for boys and girls aged from 7 to 16. Moorlands View School caters for varying types of special educational need, including children on the autism spectrum, as well as those with emotional and behavioural difficulties. We've mentioned this already, but I think it's important to note that Boundary Garage is not in Dunnockshaw. It just falls on the Rossendale side of the border, but the residents likely still use it. Whilst there's no shop, you can get fed out here if you like Oriental food. This is Beijing Cantonese, which is both a takeaway and a restaurant. This place is Balmer's GM. Trading for over 40 years, they've grown to become one of the largest dedicated turf machinery dealers in the UK. As well as in Burnley, they also have a depot in Wakefield. Even though the village is small, it still has a playground as well. It's good to see, in fact, that even in the smallest of places, there are still these facilities. There's even an area where you can exercise your dog too. You'll find this close to the largest landmark here, Clowbridge Reservoir, which we're about to talk about in the next section. Now, all the information that I found about Dunnockshaw before I came here pertained to either Dunnockshaw Village or to Clowbridge Reservoir. I knew nothing of this. Apparently, there's a hamlet called Gambleside which doesn't exist anymore, and you can walk to it. It's about 3.5 kilometres from where I'm standing here, close to the sailing clubhouse. There you go. Gambleside is historically linked to Clowbridge Reservoir. This was built in 1866, resulting in the depopulation of the former village. Historically, it was also known as the Hapton Reservoir. It covers 88 acres and holds 1.6 billion litres of water. Operated by United Utilities, it's used as a location for water sports by Rossendale Sailing Club. Some of its water supply is pumped from an old mine shaft belonging to the Gambleside Colliery. Clowbridge is the result of an 1853 Act which created the Haslingden and Rawtenstall Waterworks Company. 18 months after starting construction under the supervision of Thomas Hawksley, work was suspended as the company expended all of its capital. After a 3-year hiatus, work recommenced under the direction of Joseph Jackson, and although nearing completion in 1863, a series of landslips meant work was not completed until August 1865. Up on Hamelden Hill, the large ominous-looking mountain we met in Hapton, there's a weather station. Unsurprising, anywhere with high elevation is always a good place to put one. Dunnockshaw is on the Pennine Bridleway, a 205-mile-long national trail running through the Pennine Hills from Derbyshire to Cumbria, specially designed for horse riders. We'll see this again. To the south and the east of Clowbridge Reservoir is a huge expanse of forest known as Dunnockshaw Community Woodland, an area that's doubled in size recently thanks to the replanting of trees. There's some fabulous scenery around here too, including of course Hamelden Hill. We're on the opposite side of it here to where we were in Hapton. During World War II, a starfish sight bombing decoy was constructed on Hamelden Hill near Heights Farm, part of a network designed to protect Accrington, and it's now a scheduled monument. Where there are hills, there are streams. This is limey water and it flows off the hills into a small pool to the south of the A682 before eventually running into Clowbridge Reservoir. This is the 3-storey oak mill, erected as a combined spinning and weaving mill in 1840 for colliery owner and quarry master Peter Pickup. A fire in 1907 gutted much of the building, but the interior was reconstructed, and it hasn't been used by the textile industry since at least the early 1970s, when glass fibre products began to be produced here. That's pretty much all I can show you of Dunnockshaw. There's no picture bit today because this one's too small to warrant one. However, I did take a picture of the Dunnockshaw Community Woodland notice board, the sign that explained it all, and I will put that in the video right now. I thought it was worth including this to show you how large the community woodland is. Note the other reservoir you can see on the map in the bottom right. That's Clough Bottom Reservoir, and it belongs partly to Cliviger and partly to Rossendale as opposed to Dunnockshaw. In fact, much of Dunnockshaw community woodland falls within Rossendale's boundaries because the boundary between it and Dunnockshaw, as you can see from Google Maps, follows a somewhat jagged path right down the middle of the reservoir. But apart from that, that's it. That brings this one to a close. It's been a nice one to walk around, in fact. I didn't really think it had much. I didn't really give it credit for much, but then that happens sometimes. You come to a place thinking it's not got a lot, you walk around and find out it's got loads, and that's certainly the case here in Dunnockshaw. I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'll see you somewhere else next time in Burnley. I'm out.